Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to the video. My name is Bradley, also known as the Swim Coach. Today on deadline day we're going to look at my team and why I picked them, and then thoughts on other things coming up as well. But if anyone still wants to join my league, the code is going to be up here, or there'll be a link down in the description. Come join, it's a bit of fun, and let's build it up. So let's get into my FPL team for game week 3. So I've still kept Sanchez in goal. I think Sanchez is a very good player. Just got issues on what I think where he's going to be, especially with Henderson. I've got fixtures coming up. I kind of like Chelsea's fixtures, especially against Fulham and against Brentford after the international break. So I do kind of like that. My defence is a back 3. So we go Nico Williams, Pedro and Gay. Now, yes, Gay is on that list of maybe moving clubs, but I think he'd be fine. Pedro against Bournemouth. Tottenham are doing well at the moment. Bournemouth are doing well themselves, but we'll see how we get on. Nico Williams against West Ham. I think West Ham are struggling. I think they're going to be a big contender for relegation this season. Sorry, West Ham fans. So for me, I think having a West Ham defender and a Forest defender is very good as well. I made a few changes, and you will see in a second. I've got Xhaka again against Brentford. Yes, he didn't do well in his previous match against Burnley, but I think he can do well. Simeo, again, he's a big boy, strong. I think he could push Spurs. I think it could be like a 1-1 or 2-2 game. I'm hoping more for 1-1 so Pedro doesn't get many points deducted. I've gone for Grealish. Bit meh, but I think with Grealish, very good. I do like how Grealish is. And I think people out there, I think we're starting to see the better of Grealish coming up. And against Wolves, I think that's very good. And then going into Villa after the international breaks, that'd be great as well. I do have Mo Salah against Arsenal. Very interesting. I think Salah at the moment hasn't hit form, but when he plays against Arsenal, he does hit a bit of form. So I'm a bit worried as an Arsenal fan of what happens with Salah against Arsenal. He always steps it up for some reason. We do have a front 3. We do have a front 3, and that front 3 is of Chris Wood, my vice skipper, Joao Pedro, my skipper, and Gyökeres, okay, who was my skipper last time. I took him off just because of potentially Liverpool. I think this is probably going to be like not many goals scored like it was against Leeds. So I think that could be an interesting thing. Joao Pedro, skipper against Fulham, I think could do really well. He does have a very good goalkeeper to face up against Bert Leno. So we can see about that. Chris Wood, I had to put Chris Wood in, especially against West Ham. My bench is a bit of a strong bench, to be honest. I do have Henderson against Villa. Declan Rice, I've actually put on the bench. Only did do well against Leeds, and he got some points against United as well. Doof, I've just put him on the bench. I think he's going to stay there a bit longer now. I may have to look for another £4.5 million defender. And I've got Frimpong, who's on my bench at 5.6. I may get rid of him and try and eventually, of the next game week, bring in maybe someone like Saliba or Calafiori or Timbers, who will get those defensive contribution points as well. So that's what I'll probably think about. Depends on if his report is back on the 14th, which is against Burnley. So we'll see. So that is my team for game week 3. Yeah, been very interesting. Not as bad as what I thought. I do like my team so far. I do have 0.7 million in the bank, so that's a good little profit there that I can keep. Those fixtures, as I mentioned in my previous video, okay, we have Chelsea, Fulham, that lunchtime kickoff, so that means it is 11 o'clock deadline time. We have Manchester United, Burnley, Spurs, Bournemouth, Sunderland, Brentford, Wolves, Everton. Finishing off Saturday games, we have Leeds versus Newcastle. Then we go into the Sunday fixtures. We go Brighton, City, Forest, West Ham, Liverpool versus the mighty Arsenal, Aston Villa versus Crystal Palace. So that rounds up your fixtures for game week 3. Very interesting. Seeing how it goes. What was I going to look at now? Here we go. The top point scorers so far. So if you look very closely, you can see Calafiori is actually the top person on the board. Very interesting. Timbers, the back-to-back defenders. But can they hold that off? Never know. Very interesting. Even the top goalkeeper on here is actually the Spurs goalkeeper. Okay, then goes by Pickford, then goes Raya. So very interesting out there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, news-wise, where was it I'm going to look at? Okay. Have a look at some of these videos, okay, or listings of seeing what you think is the best for game week 3. Okay. It gives you big old help as well. And it does say about the home account with West Ham and Burnley, okay, against Forest and United. So I think that could be a very good option. Now there's a list here of what people have picked in for their game week. Now they've gone Sales for their goalkeeper, Casemiro, Pedro, Diogi, Bruno Fernandes, Cunha, Gibbs White, Damgard. Okay, that's an interesting one. I do like Damgard a little bit against Sunderland. Okay, maybe. Haaland, Wood, and Joe Pedro. So, for me, I've got Joe Pedro, I've got Wood, and I've got Pedro. So, for me, I do like that team, but you've got to look at the balance of it. And for me, I can't see United doing well against Burnley. No offense. I can see them scoring a few goals, but that's about it. And then you got here like the reports about Saka, Odegaard, and White. And it, as it is, he will be out, but he will be out for a few weeks, unfortunately. So that's the thing where you got to look at and pay attention of what the managers say. Sometimes the managers may be, but for me, yeah, I think he won't be back. And I will tell you when Saka will probably be back. And he will probably be back for probably the game week against Manchester City. Game week 5. So it's 3 weeks' time, that is. I think that could be, or he could come back against Newcastle. Don't know. That's what I would say. Have a look at some of these reports on here. They do help you quite a lot. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is my team for game week 3. What is your opinion down in the chat? Let me know and have a good time and enjoy game week 3. Good luck. And if you are new, please hit that subscribe button. And also, if you do want to join my league, the code is going to be up here. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Goodbye from now.